How many states have we got in drought throughout the West? I mean, I always see them spray these things ahead of and into oncoming storm fronts, and then usually we get, a misty drizzle. You hear new terms now. We used to have whole storm fronts states long. Now we have little isolated thunderstorms, misty drizzles, these type of things. The weather is being controlled. They didn't want to touch that for a long time until critical mass moved them forward. There are a number of websites where you can learn about Zionist control and, the Talmudism that's moving through this country because they're influencing our court systems, everything. Kabbalah, this is a bit of Jewish mysticism, occultism that is being pushed by the Hollywood-type actors like Madonna and others. They're trying to make it attractive and mystical, Harry Potter style.
Right.
All of this is satanic, folks. Look at the crop circles. I've always said that as sophisticated as some of these crop circles are, these are done by, military satellites using a plasma beam technology. It's like a...
Exactly.
It's like a laser printer stylus, literally using the ground as your writing media. Well, as sophisticated as some of these are, they could write "Eat at Joe's" in one of these fields. Turns out that one of the few crop circles that have had text, it is tied to, the ancient Talmudists in this language. It all points to this group of Satanists. They are anti-Christian in their theology. Everything they do is to flip the middle finger at God. That's their whole bit. Websites. There's Jim Condit out in Ohio who is trying to use the election laws to let people know, who is standing to gain and why we're going to have another war, why it's going to be for another one of Israel's enemies. It's either going to be Iran, Syria, etc. So when they set these nukes off all over the place that they're saying that Al-Qaeda has, they're going to turn around and say, it was Iran that had them. We told you that they moved these weapons of mass destruction from Iraq to Iran.
They've gone from Afghanistan to Iraq. Now they're going to go to Iran. These things are on wheels, and they just go where they're needed, right?
That's the way they're doing it. I mean, if one truth is found out, as a lie, they just morph it to something else. Oh, well, here's what we really meant to say, or here's what the real truth is.
And really, Al-Qaeda was created by the CIA back in the 80s, and they've been funded and trained by them since. So they're pretty much just pawns of the CIA. And we know throughout history that whenever a government wants to accomplish something, they go ahead and create their own opposition so they can control it to achieve their desired result.
Anytime we say CIA, you can merge that with Mossad. The Israeli Mossad and CIA are operating hand in hand in these staged terror tactics. Mossad, Israel is, they're the ones responsible for our torturing Iraqi prisoners because that's the modus operandi of Israeli government.
Well, let's get, if you look at both, the Mossad and both the CIA, they are both the governing police arms of the Vatican. They are the puppets of the Vatican. And who's sitting in the Vatican? That's Satan's seat if you look at Revelation.
Yeah, now, I have heard this from a few other people that the Vatican is going to be at the top of this food chain.
Oh, it is. It already is. But the thing is, it's not the Pope that everybody's seeing every day. The guy can barely stand and walk to the bathroom by himself. There is power behind the power. And that's what you need to look at. Who's the power behind the power? Because in every government you have your front person. Bush is a front person. He really has no power. Everything's done behind him by his own henchmen that run everything.
Well,
same thing with Sharon.
In the case of Junior, come on, folks. Do you think it's an accident that, we've had Daddy Bush in there, and then we had Clinton, who was friends with Daddy Bush. Yeah. Clinton ran the cocaine through Mena, Arkansas.
And they all have ties together.
Then we had Junior, who was laundering the cocaine through Harkin Energy. Junior is put in as a pawn by Daddy Bush, and you've got Dick Cheney in there who's actually holding Junior's leash.
Yeah.
Junior's the idiot everybody says he is. He's just in the right place for Daddy and Cheney's plans. They'd sacrifice that kid in a heartbeat.
Oh, exactly. You know what? It's always been rumored that in the Capitol, Cheney's office is called a torture chamber. Nobody wants to cross Cheney.
If you do research into, we've got this movie out now, The Manchurian Candidate, which is on mind control. Folks, Columbine, a lot of these school shootings have used CIA mind control technology like MKUltra. Anybody see Conspiracy Theory? How about Minefield with Michael Ironside? disturbing
I thought
behavior.
that Eyes Wide Shut, I couldn't even get 10 minutes past into that movie. It was so strong.
Eyes Wide Shut, that's isn't that the one Kubrick's last
That was
film?
Tom Cruise?
Yeah, that was
Nicole Kidman?
That was Kubrick's last film. And every film they do, it's kind of light. It's like the movie Skulls on Skull and Bones. They give you little bits and pieces of the truth, but they don't quite go into the homosexual aspect of Skull and Bones. They don't go into
right, the
sacrificial...
SRA, satanic ritual abuse, and that's what we're seeing in the prisons and Al-Qaeda. It's typical of their behavior.
By the way, anything we're mentioning here, most of this has material on the Internet. If people want my email address, it's hitech1, HITECH1, @bluemarble.net. I mentioned Mark Kernke's program. It's called the Intel Report. It was airing on GCN through some interesting tomfoolery there with a phony friend who, some people thought he was Mark's friend, but he's not. Brought a COINTELPRO perp up there at GCN. Mark's show is no longer there. And yet this phony is out there running another show called the National Intel Report. You see what they're doing, folks? They're trying to usurp all the media here, act like they're presenting the truth, but they're only giving you, 90-95%.
Right, and the other 5% is the poison.
Rat poison.
Yep.
But anyway, if people are interested in that, the Intel Report does air on the Internet, Liberty Tree Radio. It's libertytreeradio.4mg.com. That goes Monday through Friday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I've got a buddy there named Jack Otto, and he's up on Thursdays and also Sundays. Sundays it's from 5 to 6 Eastern Time. Jack Otto has written a book, World War III Coming to Your Neighborhood Soon. For those of you that are interested in this topic of Talmudic Zionism, I can't recommend this book highly enough. And I'll give you his phone number here in just a minute if you are interested in this. It's a 250-page book. It's 8.5 by 11 in size, big one. He said he spent 25 years putting this together. Most people might find this boring. I don't think you will, Sherry, but let me just read some of the chapter headlines here. High Treason, Seeds of Tyranny, the Illuminati, the French Revolution, the American Revolution, Congress in Vienna, Jacob Schiff snatches America's pocketbook, Communism, Political Zionism, Cultivating World War I, the League of Nations, the CFR Gillionaires Club, Bolshevik Revolution in Russia, Federal Reserve and the Income Tax, Red Roosevelt and World War II. For those of you that don't know, Roosevelt's real name was Rosenfeld. A number of these phonies changed their names. Red propaganda in American media, Adolf Hitler and the pseudo-Jews. For those of you who don't know, the Zionists actually worked with Hitler against the real Jews there. Making communist slaves at Yalta, the United Nations. False Jews create a false Israel. Congress finds Reds in every